A horror game where you're really scared, where you scream and aren't bored? Is that what you're looking for? Then you've come to the right place. This is the start of a Devlog series about a horror game, where it's about a game in a bodycam footage style. The game style is based on Unrecord, because I love this game style so much. Graphically, it's also supposed to be very reminiscent of Dreamcore and real life. But first of all, what is Dreamcore?
Dreamcore is a surrealist aesthetic that uses motifs commonly associated with dreams, daydreams or nightmares, portrayed through media such as images, videos and, on occasion, music.
That sounds already pretty good. First, let's create a new project called Cool Game. Now guys, we need a character, and I will say, let me cook. I hope you enjoyed it. Next I will show you some features of the character. It is a true first-person character, which means you can see the whole body as if you were the player. For this I attached the camera to the player's head. The player can sprint, jump and crouch, and there's also a good inventory system. Okay, the game doesn't really look like a Bodycam or Dreamcore yet, so to change that, let's add some cool filters. I'll show you how to achieve the stylish look. First we add a blur effect, sharpen it a little bit and blur it again. Then we add a fisheye lens on top, a few other effects like noise, and voila, our bodycam effect is complete. Next I'll add Discord Twitch presence. This way everyone can see that we're playing the game. Wow, this looks so amazing, not gonna lie. Let's connect our game to Steam. This way we can invite our friends via Steam later, if you have friends. When we press Shift plus Tab now, the Steam menu opens directly in the game. I think programming a multiplayer is the hardest part of all, so it's definitely a great idea to make a multiplayer horror game as your first project without any experience. And by programming I mean Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, and our multiplayer system is ready. I want the gameplay to show as little UI as possible to make it more realistic. Ideally, just camera information like the time at the bottom left. When you press escape, a menu should appear. I used my best animation skills to make the UI as beautiful as possible. Do you know how when you record a video with your phone, you hear those typical background noises like shaking or wind noise?
Watch out. Put it down now.
I want to integrate that into the game as well. I'm not sure how to do it yet, but I will manage to do it. That's a problem for the future, Tsuku. I finally solved the stupid problem with the program Audacity with which I record my voice. Here there's an equalization curve, with which we can change the highs and lows and stuff like that. No idea what really happens there, but fuck it! The main thing is that it works. And if we apply the effect directly, we'll immediately notice how well it goes with the bodycam. And for those epic checking sounds, yeah, I just totally didn't make them myself. I downloaded them from a random website, slapped them into the game, so whenever the character moves, instant shaky goodness. And guess what? No, there are sounds, because who needs silence when you can have chaos? No, buckle up, because we're diving into a story that's juicier than a watermelon on a hot summer day. The player has fallen asleep in his office and wakes up to a rainy day with a depressed atmosphere. He wants to go home, and for that he has to take an elevator which is paranormal. The elevator takes him somewhere, but not to the floor where he needs to go. In short, an office worker goes into a paranormal elevator and gets to other different paranormal places that look super realistic with paranormal entities. And whether he gets home, it's up to you. Simply a fever dream. So let him go home, you stupid motherfucker. Since you already know the drill, let's skip the boring stuff and dive straight into building the elevator. But first we've got to whip up a 3D model of it. A few buttons here, a few buttons there, throw in some fancy curves, and boom! We are done! No, this elevator could really use some textures and, you know, actual detail. But since I had zero clue how to do that, we'll just wing it later. Alright, time to drop a perfectly finished elevator model into the game. Next up, I'm gonna slap together an animation for the elevator. And by animations, I'm really just gonna move the doors around using blueprints and hope the best.
Oh my god!
I want the office level to feel as depressing as a Monday morning without coffee. So we've been full on rainstorm, and I'm cracking down the lights in the office to barely see your hands in front of your face levels, just so that the gloomy light from the outside can really do its thing. But honestly, I think the vibe is on spot. It's turning out so well, you might actually need a hug after playing it. I want a pistol. Why? Who knows? Do you need 2 weapons in this game? Absolutely not. But hey, I made one anyway. So I modeled this beauty, and then slapped on some overly realistic animations and sounds, because why not? Oh, let me guess, you wanna learn how to create a fancy procedural animation like this? No! Wait, what? No! Alright, first, you get your movement, your mouse X, and try with this by your hand. In most games, once you've beaten it, you will like, well, that's it. Yes, I'm done forever. But not with this game. Nope, I'm gonna program a genius system that solves this tragic problem, so I can keep playing it over and over again with friends without dying of boredom. Oh, well, you will just have to wait for the next video to find out. Later, when you and your friends are ready to jump in, you'll be able to customize the level settings yourself, like true game devs. And as for the menu, well, I'm now planning a super professional design in Paint. Drawing it? Easy, but now we actually have to make it work, which is slightly more complicated. It's definitely almost not finished yet, but don't worry, it will totally be done in the next video. Join my Discord server, and thanks for watching.